Okay. So, welcome everyone. Again, no armor, no tools, weapons, anything like that. Elytras. As always,
My wings.
during regular faction meetings, we have the out of character first half, and then we go into the in character stuff second half. For emergency meetings like we had on whatever day it was, we do only in character stuff. I think people were confused last time, but that is how it is. I have one announcement to make, and then if you'd like to make any sort of advertisement, announcement, anything, comment you should talk about Catsby. Anyway, the fanfic competition,
Absolutely.
the long-term one, closes on the 9th, on Tuesday, before the stream. Because I'm going to be reading them on Lore Tuesday before we get into the actual lore stuff. So if you would like to participate in that, there is a randomizer. There's also a themed one, which is the theme is beach episode, and then there's also a free write one. I'm really excited. I know certain people like Truffle have been working very hard. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, if you have anything to announce, talk about, go ahead and line up in the center, and we'll get started.
Okay, so people who are on staff will know this, but I would like to make an announcement. So recently, my dad started working for our local animal shelter. He's enjoying the job. However, he was asked by his boss and coworkers, as like a thing that they all do, is to come up with a list of names to potentially name the future shelter animals, mostly cats, but there's some dogs. So, with oh my god, with Freya's help, because she was the only one who answered, I forget who made the suggestion, but someone made the suggestion of Gatsby, and I would like to announce, there is now a cat named the Great Catsby. His name is Catsby.
This is awesome.
We was so.
Let's go.
His name is Catsby. There is an actual. I will be meeting him soon. I have not. He's not able to be met because he's a new cat. He's currently in intake to make sure, in isolation, to make sure he doesn't have any diseases or anything like that. Normal stuff. He isn't up for adoption yet because he's still, once again, new. But I got news that it is. His name is Catsby. I will be posting. Let me see.
Baby pictures.
Do we have?
If I looked closer, I would adopt Catsby.
No, wait. Give me a second. Let me pull up the Catsby photo. There is another cat. I will screenshot a picture of Catsby's face. Let me post this in the faction meeting VC chat. So, yeah, I don't know how to. Here's Catsby.
He's so cute.
Catsby is very real, and before he gets adopted, I wanna meet them. I wanna meet him because it's fucking Catsby. Of course I wanna meet him, and I will be sending photos as well. Yeah. That is all. I just wanted to share the news of our Lord and Savior Catsby.
Lord and Savior, I don't want to start another cult.
Another cult.
We don't need any more cults. Where'd you get the cat from? Oh, I don't know. Someone named it after a Minecraft SMP server from 2025.
Oh my gosh.
It's like 50 years from now.
The cat's gonna live forever.
Hey, I want to meet that cat now. My tavern is going under renovation, so excited for that. If you guys want to come over and stay one of these days, cringe. Oh. Goodbye.
Okay, hello everybody. I kind of have a lot. I have a bunch of updates regarding the marketplace. I'm sure many of you have noticed. It has been under renovation, kind of. I recently made 2 more rows of stalls. So there's more stalls that are available now. Okay, I have a list. I'm gonna go down the list. First of all, I've kind of just become in charge of the marketplace because nobody else is currently. So if you have any questions about it, you can ask me before bothering like Freya directly. So if you have any questions about the marketplace, or if you want to rent a stall, please let me know. Basically, the new system that I would like to put in place is just having you guys reserve them, so we can keep track of what stalls are being used and which ones aren't. I'll post more details about it like in writing in the server, but I basically just want you guys to let me know that you're still running the stall, so that there's not a bunch sitting unused with stuff in them like they have been. And I did clear out all of the abandoned stalls, meaning stalls that are like have no stock in them and have clearly not been used. Ones that do still have stuff in them, if I don't hear from you by next Saturday, I am going to be clearing it and or contacting you. I may just clear it just so we can start fresh. And I do also have a more important announcement for next Saturday. I'm going to be bringing back the farmers markets. So once a month, we'll have a themed farmers market. It'll be if you noticed the new stalls, I have a little like cave section. There are 10 new stalls that can be rented out for the farmers market. And those are like first come first serve, so only 10 people will be doing it, and it'll be themed every month. So this month's theme will be like fall harvest or just general fall theme. Again, let me know if you want to rent those. What else do I have? That's about it. I'm gonna be putting more of the villager shops in the stalls just because we would kind of like to move towards using those to avoid like theft and other complications, and because it's easier to keep track of. So I'm gonna be putting those in stalls. Otherwise, yeah, I'll put more details in writing, but just wanted to let you guys know that we're trying to bring back the farmers market, and there have been updates. So if you have any questions, just let me know.
Also, it's okay if you can't sit. Like, don't worry about it.
Just another announcement. I still need someone to help me making a giant set of stairs for the statue. If the ideal shape would be like more like a C shape, or like something that's like is open in the middle, so I can make a fountain in the middle of it. But yeah, I cannot make stairs for the life of me, so I do need help with that. That's about it. Thank you.
Hey, hi, how's it going? I just got off of work, so I'm very tired and trying to remember everything I can as possible. But, um, so I have somehow become like the department head of sorts, I think, for Parks and Rec. And
Correct.
as part of that, I've been trying to make a list of any public parks or zoos or museums or just like attractions that people can go to publicly on the server, in order to list in the Parks and Rec building. So anybody who has one of those, feel free to contact me, or I will be leaving a booking quill, this one in my hand right here, on a lectern in the entryway of the Parks and Rec building, and you can feel free to write down the location where it's at, the faction, and the coordinates of it if you know that. So that way we can get that all sectioned out into like building itself. Thank you.
I forgot to tell you, I did actually meet with Cam with the Lilac Expedition people and stuff earlier today. So
Yeah, I was at work at that time.
yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
just like a very casual meeting. But
Okay,
I'll talk to you about that later. Sorry, continue.
got it.
My wood stall has all the woods now, so if anyone has special requests for woods, DM me. But also, every single wood there is super in stock. And also, there's more fresh food for the faction meetings. And if you have any requests and food preferences, also ask.
All right, if that is everything out of character, again, if you have like any advertising or things going on that you just want to, this is the more casual side of things. Yes, I see you crouching over there.
Oh, it's because they can't sit.
Oh, don't worry
They're-
about not being able to sit. It's
They're
just
stuck.
like
They're stuck.
Yeah, just
They can disconnect
just a
and-
note on this. Just a note on this. For this has been a reoccurring thing with Bedrock players specifically. The best solution that we have is that you disconnect and then reconnect, and you'll be standing and you'll be able to sit. For Java players, Bedrock players are usually seen as crouching, even though they're not on their screen.
yeah, I don't know why that is. I can see if maybe GSit, the plugin that allows us to sit, has an update. I'll write that down. I've been gone for the past like week and a half, so I know there are some things on the server that need updates. I'm gonna see if I can go through that this week. Okay. How was Virgil? Oh, I'll tell you a little bit. So, for those who don't know, Virgil's birthday was on the 31st of August, and I decided to surprise him by showing up on his doorstep because he lives in Pennsylvania and I live in California. And he was not expecting this because I'm moving in with him in October, so he's like, well, I'm not going to see her until then. So I showed up at his doorstep and pretended to be DoorDash and was like handing him a thing. And I said, like, wait a minute, you look exactly like my boyfriend. And he was like, no way. And he really freaked out. It took him a good 24 hours to fully calm down from that, but it was great. We ate a lot of pizza. And special thanks to Glacier and Comet and Kath and I feel like there's one other person for helping me plan all of that. Okay. Without further ado, we're gonna get right into the in-character stuff. I'm gonna turn on my... Okay, wait, is this the right... Do I sound echoey like I'm announcing something? No, wait, I don't. Hold on. No, I should. Do I sound echoey to people?
No.
No?
No.
What about now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Is this gonna be annoying if I use this thing? I just like using voice mod.
That's fine.
Sound cooler.
Okay, never mind. I'll turn it off. I'll turn it off. Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. As always, it's good to see there are quite a few more people here than there were last week. I have a couple of announcements, kind of unrelated from each other. The first one is, I've been working with several different people to try and figure out who attacked Krufik. By the way, Krufik is doing a lot better. I think she's still in the hospital. I'll have to go check. Yes, but she's recovering. She'll be okay. I think she appreciated all of the get well soon cards that we left. We do have a possible suspect list that I am willing to add to if anyone has any other leads. The first one is, of course, Eclipse. This has been strengthened by the fact I reviewed the interview that Just the News did with Villo. Where's Rando? Oh, there.
I'm really laggy. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I reviewed the interview with Villo, and I remember her saying that she told Eclipse, gave Krufik's name to Eclipse. So that's a possible lead there. Another suspect, which I don't believe at all, but I've heard the name Eleanor, my friend Eleanor, and Eleanor Keener is her full name. But she definitely wouldn't do it. I know that, you know, she used to work with the Soul Pack Navy and happens to be very good with firearms, but I don't think she would do anything like that. I don't think she has a reason to. So I think that one's off the table personally, but I know that some people have.
I have a question.
Yes.
Will they be investigated because there are still things that set them up to be a possible suspect? So they are not being removed from the table simply due to one person's biases? Or will they still be investigated?
The investigation, I mean, it's kind of just me and Marcelo that have been working on it. Has the judicial branch been working on an investigation in Almira?
Somewhat. We're still kind of coordinating that specifically.
I think it would. Marcelo and I would have bias with Keener regardless. So maybe it'd be best if someone else investigated her. But again, I don't think she would do anything like that. She's a really good friend of mine, and I would be very disappointed. Comet can that would be good.
I simply believe it's best if all avenues are investigated.
I agree. As much as I disagree with Eleanor being a suspect, she happens to have similarities to whoever it was. So we'll leave it at that. The third suspect on the list is, of course, anyone from the House of Ocular Enlightenment, not naming names. We know that they have issues with other factions. Krufik was a part of, or is, speaking in past tense like she's dead, is a part of the Pure Spirits, which we know the House of Ocular Enlightenment has particular issues with. And, she could have done something, planned something like that to get at me or the leadership of Solace. Maybe just taking down the general leadership of Solace so that she can take over. That's probably, besides Eclipse, that's number 2 for me, suspect-wise. Does anyone else have suggestions, suspects, people that they've been... Well, maybe you don't want to say anything because that would reveal that you were investigating someone. But we can discuss it here, if you do. No? All right.
It's like Among Us.
I do have a question.
Yes.
From the logs and information gathered from Eclipse's spacecraft, do we know if they are working with someone or are they alone?
Currently all we have is ship's logs from her shuttle, and everything that we heard from Philo and Casimir, that situation. So we don't know if she's working with anyone else. I know last era, we had some people who were working with Miraju and Cypher without the knowledge of any of us, so it's unfortunately a possibility.
Well, what do you do if you're being accused?
If you're being accused, you could get a lawyer. I mean, if you're being accused, if you're innocent, then great. We'll be able to prove your innocence, I'm sure, once we figure out who the actual culprit is. Yeah, comply with investigation would be the best.
Otherwise, I guess you could just cry about it.
If you're concerned, you can come talk to me. I'm not gonna, even if someone is a suspect, I'm not gonna treat you any differently because of that. Is that everything about Eclipse and that whole situation?
Do we have more information on the weapon?
The information that we have a image of the weapon as well as the model. That was in the
It's in the report.
Yeah, the report that the judicial branch put out. Mira, could you post that in the chat again for people?
Sure.
Thank you. In other news, I mentioned this earlier, but I met with Cam from the Lilac Expeditions faction, and we were kind of discussing a little bit how to make Solace safer, how to make sure all of you feel safe. I've definitely heard some criticism about the way that leadership is handling this. I assure you we're doing the best we can. However, I will agree that, there are some things that we can do that maybe aren't controlling the factions individually. We did come up with the idea of making sure everyone has comms devices, like the Arcturus and the Keepers of Solace factions. These would allow you to communicate with not just people within your faction, but outside of it as well. If anyone encounters Eclipse or is in danger in any way, we could communicate to whoever is nearest rather than just, whoever we are able to contact in our own factions. And I think that would be a good idea. Communication is key when it comes to this sort of thing. So I'm going to work on that with Marcella. We'll have to make quite a few of them. It might just start with faction leaders and then move on to everyone else because we don't have very many at the moment. But yeah, that way I think, we'll be able to communicate with each other a little bit better. And hopefully you all feel safer that way. Okay, I think that's everything for me. If anyone else has things to add or say that are unrelated even, go ahead and line up in the center aisle. Go ahead whenever you're ready. If you're talking, we can't hear you. Oh yeah, that's fine. All right, I'll read it so everyone can hear. I have a question regarding the actions taken when the attack happened. Lady Freya, why would you call a meeting instead of sending someone to the scene to at least track the attacker's trail before it went cold? So I'll answer that. We did have people there. I know Marcelo, as soon as we both heard about it, went there immediately. I did as well, but I had to come back to run the Keepers of Solace stall at the market. Oh, that is so loud. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. This is out of character here. The sound has been compounding on itself over the day. Every day, it like adds another layer of the sound. I don't know why it does that. Back into character. Marcelo was there and helped immediately, but I had to run the stall temporarily, and I did leave like about 15 minutes in, because I went to go help. I know other people were there as well. I just was in contact with Marcelo mainly. And we did look for some sort of trail that was left behind, but there were no footprints. It was just the weapon. And we searched around the area, but we didn't find anything. I think it's all in the report. Maybe not that, not the people who were there, but...
Hello?
Hello? We're just waiting for them to type. I'll read this again. I see, though it doesn't clear up my frustration with the entire situation. I agree. I'm also frustrated. I wish that there was some clear answer. This is exactly how I felt when Casimir was killed, and when everyone was seeing Eclipse in the area, that she's just escaped us at every turn, and I wish there was some way that we could just locate her. I know many have been trying, but with every group that goes out and tries to locate her, or I guess I assume that it's Eclipse that did this, but it hasn't been confirmed, but that's my assumption. But everyone that's been looking for both Eclipse and whoever did this, I worry for their safety, so that's why I've been saying please stay in groups and close to population centers. I actually just received a official statement from Frostfire. If if you'd like, I can read that once everyone's done. I can read that. To answer, I here's some of the other questions while we're waiting. I don't believe that the Keepers of Solace stall at the marketplace was more important than helping, but once Krufik was transported to the hospital, I'm not a doctor. I was just in the way. And I trust Marcelo to handle any sort of decisions that needed to be made. So I was making sure that everyone else was, the market festival was successful and people were having a good time and also safe. If the perpetrator were to come to the marketplace and attack again there, I would rather be there than in the hospital. I did. I when I was in the hospital, I did stay there for a few minutes, but again, I was just in the way. And Marcel and I were just in the waiting room. We weren't in the room with Krufik and the doctors that were there. So again, there was nothing really that I could do personally. Also, you don't have to, if you want to, like, this is out of character, but if you want to ask questions or, like, say comments or whatever, feel free to just speak it. You don't have to type unless you prefer to type. That's fine. If you're just, like, saying unrelated things or wanting to ask questions out of character or something like that in chat, that's perfectly fine. But you can also talk. That's what makes these meetings pretty fun, is that it's like we're all, sitting in a meeting room together and you can argue and blah, blah, blah and all that.
Oh! We can talk.
Yeah, you can talk.
Character's not
Obviously,
confrontational
if
enough for
someone
this.
is like speaking, don't interrupt
read the
them or
chat.
something. But yes, read the chat. Okay. Your actions and inactions have made me think that you are unfit to be a leader. I'm not saying that Okul of the House of Ocular Enlightenment should be a leader, but I feel that you are too naive to the actual dangers to death to feel confident in your leadership.
You, respectfully, I've been here since the first era. I've been here since the creation of Solace itself. I've seen many things happen. There's only a limited amount of people who have been here throughout the entirety of its creation, and I think, despite all of her flaws, and I mean, I say that as everybody does have flaws, Freya is our best shot at leadership. And that's why we have these faction meetings. She's not the true leader. It's a council of representatives of factions. She's just happens to be, the representative, if that makes sense. You haven't seen what we've seen, respectfully, but you don't know the full story.
Thank you, Comet. To answer that, I never asked to be a leader. I created the planet, yes. And at the beginning, people, and still to this day, people see me as a deity, a goddess, this leader, and I never asked for it. It was just given to me. And I understand that people are frustrated with what's happened, not just in this era, but the last era with Cypher and previous with Miraju. I'm trying my best and I want all of you to be safe, but I've learned over time that when there are so many different cultures coming together, when there are people who have lost so much and are desperate for everything, they'll do, there are people coming to solace that will do whatever they can to get what they need. And sometimes that ends poorly. And in that situation, we take it as we take it by situation. I'm trying. But I do not believe that the House of Ocular Enlightenment or God forbid, someone similar to Miraju would be appropriate. That's why, I mean, my goal is to make sure that everyone, all of the factions, are able to live as they did on their home planets and their home communities and just return to normal life. We all lost 90% of what we had before, and I just want people to be able to have some normalcy. Again, you can speak. You don't have to type everything out. Those who are...
Oh, well.
You can speak.
Yeah, if someone else is, even if someone else is talking, you can, like, interrupt. This is, this is all in-character roleplay stuff. If your character is going to stand up and, like, say something, go ahead. You can just talk in chat, but it's more fun if you just, like, argue back and forth.
I'm not sure of the quality of my mic, so I was thinking that.
She's only a figurehead. I mean, per se. She always has had a hands-off approach to leadership. She intervenes when she can. Once again, when she can. Doesn't mean that she... If she knew what was going to happen, it wouldn't have happened. Okay? It wouldn't... We wouldn't have had all this mess. We wouldn't have had Miraju. We wouldn't have had Cypher. We wouldn't have had... Eclipse running around like crazy. She's trying to give us freedom. And...
Exactly.
Freedom to lead ourselves.
I will back up.
Same way it has been for the past 5 eras.
A little bit to back up comments. Would you guys prefer having a leader that allows you to have a religion and freedoms, or would you guys prefer to have a leader that is always observing you and being on your butt about like what you guys are doing?
No one likes Big Brother.
The question is, do you believe the fact that Freya has not shown as much malice or greed as other people as a suitable thing to make up for her failings?
I'll read what Light says here. I understand that you're trying, but you've let things happen. You tell people to stay in groups, you call meetings to discuss these issues, but you're still letting it happen. What's to say that groups would actually protect anyone? What is freedom when people die?
He's not some omnipresent god like some people do think.
Yes, that was
absurd.
That was exactly what I was going to say. I wish that I could just stop these things from happening. I feel like people don't understand that my powers aren't... I'm not all powerful. I'm not all seeing. I am not a deity of any sort. I have limited abilities. I can create things. I can. You've seen me teleport to different parts of Solace. That's not because I can see everywhere at once. It's because I know where I'm going and I go there. I can't. If I had, my eyes closed, so to speak. If you were on some other part of Solace, I would not be able to locate you. I'm not able to see where Eclipse is. I'm not able to see what happened during Krufik's attack. I wish I could. Do you think Eclipse has a spy if she keeps evading everyone? She could. She could be working with people. That's another worry of mine. Marcelo and I definitely have our own opinions on who would be working with Eclipse. Though we would not share that.
Some.
Light says, it's just my opinion. I hate feeling as though nothing is protected. I hate sensing people die before their time. Thank you for letting me speak. Thank you. I appreciate your words, and I do share the same fear that many of us here have.
Just a little heads up. I have people come to me. Again, I apologize for my little brother. Give me a second. Hold up. Something I'll say. There, you guys may be able to see eye blossoms starting to sprout around the statue and other areas of Solace. Do not worry. There, we're close to eye blossom season, so they will start naturally starting to spread around the area and around the Solace. Another thing is, if you guys have been seeing moss around areas of the community center, do not fret. We're still kind of investigating what that is, but if you guys do spot it outside the community area or outside the market, do please notify the judicial branch about it. So yeah.
Why the judicial branch? Aren't there more equipped people to deal with?
I had a friend back home.
We're just kind of looking of it for it, basically.
I
Or you
consider
can just
Mira
notify
like
anybody.
my second in command.
Oh, not the crystals.
Oh no.
Speaking of the Eye Blossom Festival, that happens on October 25. I'm looking forward to it.
Rosa, you're good to
I'll
go.
mark the date
Thanks.
down.
Hi guys, my name's Frog. This is my first meeting with y'all. I just wanted to introduce myself.
Welcome.
I don't know exactly how all this works, but if anybody needs anything, come to me, I will help you. building. You need a faction to join. You need stuff. That is what my faction is for. Just wanted to introduce myself. Thank you.
Have you started on the investigations?
What do you mean?
Like investigating people?
I mean, we can't really investigate Eclipse since that's been an ongoing investigation.
Well, I'm aware of that, but the other suspects.
As for Eleanor, I think Comet said that they would handle that, since I don't think, considering Marcelo and I are both good friends with her, it would be we'd be at risk for having some bias. And for Okul, I could meet with her.
Either way, there on my end, I do believe that for Eleanor specifically, I do not feel there is a cause for Eleanor to act on violence. The main thing with that is more of a suspicion at most. But yes, I do trust that Comet will handle that accordingly.
Why? It's been about what, over a week, right? How come it's not dealt with yet? Like, how come we haven't gotten to that point of interrogating and asking people? You know, why is it taking it this long?
Well, there's not much to go off of. We have evidence and we have possible suspects. Like I said, I personally believe it might just be Eclipse. We don't have any real evidence that points to more than a few people vaguely. If you would like to help, please be my guest, but this is not as easy as it looks.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have to remember that.
Please elaborate.
I'll read this so so everyone can hear it if they're just listening. Lux says, does anyone remember the last time at the emergency meeting when I brought up the fungal parasites able to be used as guards?
I do remembering Lux mentioned that.
Implies the need of a host that may bring up complications.
They don't need a host, they just need a body.
The body would be a host then.
Like a sentient suit of armor.
Are we talking about bringing people back from the
Dead
dead?
people from the dead?
I don't know how I feel about having dead bodies. Unfortunately not.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
I believe using a fungal parasite to create some sort of death guard would be considered desecration of a corpse, which not sure that's really a good thing to be doing.
There was a game series about fungus zombies, I remember. Didn't end well.
Zombie Apocalypse 2.0.
Eleanor showed me a movie about zombies. Also did not end well.
It's based on real events after the 28th.
It was real?
In some areas, there was something similar to that. I will just leave it at that.
Eleanor didn't tell me about that.
Oh.
Lux says I never mentioned anything about human corpses. So what would you be using? They're just animal corpses, those who died in natural ways. There was a way to make them more controllable, less focused on aggravation and more on defending.
This is bringing up a lot of ethical questions.
Lex, how do we feel about this?
Animal or human?
We use like a
really
corpse.
not
parasitic life form combined with, I don't know, some sort of fetal cells. If that makes sense.
Can it
Of,
work
like, an
on
animal?
skeleton horses?
Yeah, it might work on skeleton horses.
Okay, that sounds promising. If you want to, we can. Okay, I'm gonna regret this. We can try on my skeletal horse, Drax. See if it works.
Lux says defending whoever they're bound to, of course. They're kind of nasty looking, unfortunately.
I don't mind that.
Well, Drax is pretty horrifying already, so I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind.
They look similar to those
Works.
bogs we can find out in the swamp areas.
If you want to later after this meeting, we can test the theory out.
I am still not sure how I feel about using dead bodies of any kind in this way.
Me either, but do we have other options that might protect
Using
people?
living people to, or you know, asking living, alive people to protect their people? Lux says, anyways, they're very durable. As long as the glowing mycelium heart within isn't harmed, they're very helpful. They can provide transportation, aid with being a platform for building.
I feel like if there was a way to not use the deceased, if there was a way to get a host for these fungal parasites that was not at one point alive, then maybe we would have a case. But as things currently stand, that seems fairly unethical.
Lux says they were used often on my planet for any pets we wish to arise back from the dead. They don't spread outside of their host.
Could the fungal parasites just inhabit, like, a metallic skeleton? Some sort of robot, and cause that thing to operate rather than a corpse?
Personally, I disagree with this, but as I said before, I believe it's up to factions to decide what they'd like to do. I'm not going to interfere with this. If that's what you'd like to do.
this could be opening a can of worms to say. I'm not really sure about this one.
Lux says, I guess I could try using a
Well-
metallic casing for a host, but I'm not sure how the parasite would react. All I wish to do was bring up my knowledge about how the animals of this world react to such a thing.
Lux, I will say this as
You know
one
that's
of the
fair.
part of the judicial. If you want, we can host a meeting with the rest of the judges. I apologize for the screaming in the background. The host has been haunting me. But if we can host a meeting with the judicial. Maybe if you want to invite someone else from like a faction leader, or like any type of other scientist, we can arrange that for you to try and explain this further. So that way, those faction leaders can understand that better. That sound good?
You tried to kill us. It's not oversight.
I tell him right about us to the god, bro. My little brother. Oh man.
Well, Lux, I appreciate your knowledge and suggestion, and like Mira said, it might be good to meet with scientists and other people to figure out a way that this could work, maybe ethically. Lux says, sorry for all of the confusion with this. I'm still trying to fully understand. Things being ethical is all but a mindset that not all people follow. There's no soul bound to an animal's corpse, so there is no other use. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Very well.
Just second announcement. I know that a lot of you guys are frustrated about there's a lot of threats being around Solus, but you guys have to understand. Most of you guys, including me, have no military training. We do not know how to use a weapon, or in some other cases, we do not fully trust or like know how to use our magic itself. I come from a planet where no magic was something casual. Like nobody used magic. We all always relied on technology, and even then, I never used a weapon in my life. So I wouldn't trust myself going out there alone, or even in a group hunting down Eclipse or hunting down any kind of other power, because we're not experienced at that. You do not let your anger dictate like, oh, I'm gonna go and chase them by myself. You guys, we do not have the power to do that. We do not have the training to do that. If you want to learn about that, you can do it on yourself.
If we don't do it ourselves, what makes you say that they're going to be able to do it themselves? Like if we can't do it, if they can't do it, who else is going to do it?
We have groups. We can stay in groups. Like as I said, Eclipse here, for all we know, is alone. We do not know if there's other people.
But how do we know that?
Is,
how do we know that? We don't know
we
that,
don't
do
know. We don't know, and that's the greatest thing. We do not know. What if one day you go out there by yourself and you to find out that Eclipse has like 2 other people with them, and they're all Anathi? You know how strong Anathi can be. They can.
Then why send a smaller group to go figure out themselves instead of sending a larger group to figure it out and possibly figure it out together?
Because at this point, you guys are just a liability. It's like going to a doctor and being like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here. You don't know how to do a surgery. You do not know how to heal someone. You do not know how to apply a bandage.
It seems like they don't know what they're doing because they can't figure it out.
Yes. And right now we can just bank that
They barely
there's
have
not
any
enough
leads
people.
whatsoever.
Yes, and that's what we can have to bank on right now. We cannot just go outside by ourselves and put all our life all willy-nilly. We do not know what they can do with us. You don't know what they can do with our corpses. They got a list out of Casimir, and we already lost. We already lost them. We do not want to lose like a whole city. We do not want to lose a whole town just because someone decides to go venturing out to a forest.
All right.
I think you're missing the point she's trying to make as well. She's telling us to not go out by ourselves without experience. Just some Joe Schmo with a shotgun and a lot of like genuine rage to just not go out there and hunt down Eclipse like, oh man, wait until this lizard tastes my 12 gauge. No, that's not how it works. We have to be trained and in groups. Right?
Well, those who
She's
are
telling
trained,
us
those who are trained genuinely feels like nothing is happening whatsoever. It feels like we're just stuck in the same spot. We're stuck in a loop where people are getting hurt and there's nothing happening to prevent it.
Pardon us for
doing
not
our
sending
best,
a search party
okay?
out into the middle of nowhere looking for clues written on a piece of paper. We don't have a lead. As soon as we have a lead, we'll follow it. But right now, we're headless chickens. And she's
The best we
playing
can do
upon
is
it.
patrol. That's it.
What would you suggest that we do? Eclipse is nowhere to be found. We've tried. We don't know who shot Krufik. And if we can't find them, there's nothing that we can do right now. I understand your frustration. I understand all of your frustration. I feel it too. Like I said, I wish there was something to do.
What about...
Oh, sorry, I got scared.
Security cameras in actual spots and locations that are put out.
We can talk about that. I mainly just heard security cameras.
Can I speak up here?
Yes.
All right. Two things. Number one, you mentioned there may be DNA evidence left behind on the gun since it overheated and seemed to have burned the wielder. Have we gotten anywhere with that?
I don't know.
I know we might not have a database of DNA.
I will have to ask Marcelo. I'm not sure if we have
Database
any...
of DNA.
Yeah, if we found any DNA on it, I suppose we could use that if it's someone that is on Solace. Obviously, if it's Eclipse, I mean, we can assume if it's someone that we don't know.
If it's Eclipse, then we could probably see that the DNA is from their species, which would definitely help narrow down suspects. We could at least see the species.
We do have other Anathi on this planet that live here that are innocent.
Yes, but they wouldn't have the same circumstances to be able to do such a thing, so thus they would be less likely suspects, and we would more likely judge Eclipse.
I will talk to Marcel and see if we've done that yet.
Second thing, I'm pretty sure Waters mentioned this a second ago. I could have just misheard. But security cameras put up around highly populated areas, you know, the market, the community center, high populated, dense areas. Could that at least, so then if this happens again, which let's hope it doesn't, but if it does, we can at least have more starting information.
We do have some security cameras. I mean, part of the reason that we saw what happened with, or we got some information about what happened with Krufik is because Frostfire has a few security cameras. That's how we were able to tell the exact time for the timeline.
I would
Could we-
recommend placing security cameras. Yes.
Yeah, I was saying it might be a good idea for people to up the amount of security cameras that are. And they do target less populated areas, I do agree. So, and the outskirts where there's some people, but not a lot, I would recommend putting up cameras around there. I think that might be it for me.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Questions or comments or ideas? Well, if there's not, I know that the meetings every time that something happens tend to get heated, but rest assured, we all have the same goal here. We all want to be safe and rebuild after the Great Anomaly, and try to
All the
live.
people left with the same goal. That's why Oakland got kicked out.
What was that?
Nothing. It doesn't. It's not of relevance.
All right. I will work with Marcelo. We'll try to get a DNA reading off of the gun if there is any. Like I said, we'll get comms devices out to the faction leaders first, and then enough to distribute to faction members, so everyone can be more in communication. And I'll see if I can put up security cameras around at least the Keepers of Solace area and the main capital. There's food, as always, on the counter outside in the what's it called? Hallway? The lobby. And thank you all for being here. It really means a lot when people show up and give their thoughts. We'll get through this together. We'll find Eclipse. And I promise you, she didn't kill Eclipse, or she didn't kill, or whoever it was didn't kill Krufik, and she won't kill anyone else. I promise. Okay, well, meeting dismissed.
Alright, who wants to die first? Immediately prove Freya wrong.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be.
Can we kill Sunny?
Where's the list for the tags that are available in the crate? Is there a list somewhere that has those?
A list of what?
Oh my god.
The tags that are available in the crate.
Oh, I think if
You can just left click the crate.
yeah, if you left click or right click, or one of the buttons will give you a
Oh wait, it does give you.
menu.
Okay, thank you.
Freya, can I
Yeah.
have my potato tag back, please? I'm sick of being echoed.
Potato?
Potato.
Potato.
Oh no. Oh
Yep,
no.
well.
There's a guy